Selena was still trembling in Seo Junwoo's arms, her body humming from what they'd just shared, when the bedroom door opened and two men, identical to her husband, walked in. She'd just given him everything. Her virginity, her trust, her heart, in the most intense, beautiful moment of her life, and now she couldn't breathe as she clutched the sheets to her bare skin, watching two strangers who wore her husband's face approach the bed. Junwoo's grip tightened on her waist, his voice rough against her ear. "In my family, triplets share one wife. I've claimed you first, but my brothers have the same right, and if you refuse, our marriage is void. You'll be unprotected property that any rival can take by dawn." Her mind screamed that this was insane, that the man who'd just worshipped her body with such devastating tenderness had lied to her, trapped her. But Junho was already sitting on the bed beside them, and Junki stood at the foot with the dark, unreadable eyes. She loved only. Junwoo had married only Junwoo, but now she had to choose. Let his brothers have her tonight, or face something far worse than betrayal. She'd face death. Welcome to my channel, fam. Before we continue, please hit that like button and subscribe. It truly helps us grow and create more stories like this for you. Your support means everything to this channel. 3 months earlier, the art gallery in Seoul's Gangnam district was hosting an exhibition of African contemporary art, and Selena Rivers stood before a massive canvas depicting her homeland's sunset, fighting homesickness with every breath. She'd moved to South Korea 6 months ago for a curatorial fellowship, trading Accra's warmth for Seoul's sophisticated chaos. "Beautiful, isn't it?" The voice came from behind her, deep and accented, though not as beautiful as the woman admiring it. Celine turned and forgot how to breathe. The man was devastating, sharp jawline, intense dark eyes, expensive suit, tailored perfectly to his athletic frame. Power radiated from him like heat. "That's quite a line," she managed, though her pulse raced. His smile was slow, dangerous. "It's not a line if it's true. I'm Seo Junwoo." The name meant nothing to her then. She didn't know he ran one of Seoul's most powerful crime families, didn't know his hands, now extended politely for a handshake, had ended lives. She only knew that when their fingers touched, electricity shot through her entire body. "Selena Rivers. An artist?" he asked, nodding toward the painting. "A curator. I work with the National Museum." "Then you have excellent taste." His eyes never left hers. "Have dinner with me." She should have said no. Something about his intensity felt dangerous, overwhelming, but she heard herself say, "When?" "Tonight." That dinner became 3 hours of conversation that felt like 3 minutes. He was intelligent, well-traveled, cultured. He asked about her work, her dreams, her life with genuine interest. When touched her hand across the table, she felt claimed in ways she didn't understand. By their 3rd date, she was falling. By their 10th, she was in love. He took her to private restaurants where staff bowed deeply, drove cars that cost more than her annual salary, wore watches that could fund a small country. She asked questions, but his answers were always smooth. Family business, investments, international trade. "You're rich," she said one night in his penthouse overlooking the Han River. "I'm comfortable." His arms wrapped around her from behind as they stood at the window. "Does it matter?" "No, I just want to know the real you." His reflection in the glass showed something dark flickering across his features. "The real me might scare you. Try me." Instead of answering, he turned her around and kissed her with an intensity that stole coherent thought. She melted into him, into the heat and hunger that always sparked between them. "Marry me," he whispered against her lips. Celine pulled back, stunned. "What?" "Marry me. I know it's fast, but I've never been more certain of anything." His hands framed her face. "You're everything I never knew I needed. Say yes." "Junwoo, we've only known each other 2 months. And every second has shown me you're the one. Marry me, Celine. Let me spend my life proving I'm worthy of you." Every logical bone in her body screamed that this was insane, but love wasn't logical, and she'd never felt anything as powerful as what pulled her toward this man. Yes, she breathed. Yes, I'll marry you. The wedding happened within 3 weeks. Too fast, her friends said. Red flags everywhere, her colleagues warned. But Celine was drowning in love, in Junwoo's relentless devotion, in the fairy tale of being chosen so completely. She met his brothers 2 days before the wedding. Identical triplets, Junho and Junki flanking Junwoo at a family dinner. The resemblance was uncanny, unsettling. My brothers, Junwoo, introduced them with easy affection. We're very close. Junho was charming, warm, making her laugh with stories from their childhood. Junki was quieter, more reserved, watching her with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. Welcome to the family, Junho said, raising his glass. Our brother chose well. Junki simply nodded, his expression unreadable. That night, Celine asked Junwoo about them. Your brothers seem different. We're triplets, but we have distinct personalities. Junho is the diplomat. Junki is the strategist. I'm the one who got lucky enough to find you. They'll be at the wedding. Of course. They're my family. He kissed her forehead. Soon to be our family. The wedding was intimate, elegant, held at a private estate outside Seoul. Celine wore white lace that hugged her curves, a gown Junwoo had commissioned specifically for her. When he saw her walking down the aisle, tears actually shone in his eyes. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, he whispered as they stood before the officiant. The ceremony was traditional Korean, with African elements honoring her heritage. When they were pronounced husband and wife, his kiss was tender, reverent, filled with promise. The reception was smaller than she'd expected, mostly his business associates, people who seemed to fear him as much as respect him. She noticed how they bowed, how they spoke to him with deference that went beyond politeness. Who are these people? She asked during their first dance. Associates, business partners. His hand was possessive on her back. Don't worry about them. Tonight is about us. By midnight, they'd retreated to the penthouse he'd prepared as their home. Champagne chilled in an ice bucket. Rose petals scattered across the floor, leading to the bedroom. Everything was perfect, romantic, exactly what she'd dreamed. Junwoo kissed her in the doorway, deep and hungry. I love you, Celine, more than you'll ever know. I love you, too. What happened next was everything a wedding night should be. He undressed her slowly, reverently, worshipping every curve of her body with his hands and lips. When she trembled with nervousness, this was her first time. He was gentle, patient, murmuring reassurances in Korean and English. The first touch of their bodies together made her gasp. He moved carefully, watching her face, making sure she was okay. The initial pain gave way to pleasure, to a connection so intense she felt tears streaming down her face. He made love to her with devastating thoroughness, learning her body, building her pleasure until she shattered in his arms. When he finally found his own release, he held her like she was precious, irreplaceable. You're mine now, he whispered against her hair. Completely mine. She was still floating in that perfect moment, her body humming with satisfaction, when she heard the door open. 2 men walked in, 2 men who looked exactly like her husband. Celine screamed, clutching the sheets to her naked body. What the Junwoo? What's happening? He didn't let go of her. His arms tightened, holding her against him. Celine, listen to me. Get them out. She tried to pull away, but he was stronger. I can't. His voice was strained. This is our tradition. In the Seo family, triplets share everything, including wives. The words didn't make sense. What are you talking about? Junho sat on the edge of the bed, his expression gentle but firm. You're married to the family, Celine, not just to Junwoo. That's insane. She looked at her husband, at the man who just made love to her. Tell them this is insane. Junwoo's face was torn with guilt and something else, resignation. It's our law. I claimed you first because you're mine, but my brothers have the same right. If you refuse, the marriage is void, and you become unprotected. Junki finished from the foot of the bed. His voice was cold. In our world, an unclaimed woman is fair game for any family. You'd be taken by our rivals by sunrise and used in ways that would make tonight look like a kindness. Horror crashed through her. You lied to me. Everything was a lie. Not everything. Junwoo's hand cupped her face, forcing her to look at him. I love you. That was never a lie. But I should have told you about our tradition before the wedding, and I didn't because I was afraid you'd refuse me. You're damn right I would have refused. She tried to shove him away, but his grip remained firm. I'm sorry. His eyes glistened. I'm so sorry, but we're here now, and you have to choose. Let my brothers claim you tonight, or face what's waiting outside these walls. Junho's hand touched her ankle, a gentle touch, but she flinched like he'd burned her. We'll be careful with you. We know you're new to this. I don't want you to be careful. I want you to leave. She was crying now, terrified and betrayed. I only want Junwoo, and you can have him, Junki said, moving closer, after we've fulfilled our rights. This is how it works, Celine. Accept it or suffer consequences far worse. She looked at Junwoo, at the man she loved, hoping he'd intervene, but he just held her, his own face etched with pain. Please, he whispered, please do this. I can't lose you. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. Death or violation by strangers versus this, being touched by men who looked like her husband, but weren't him. Both options felt like death. I hate you, she told Junwoo, her voice breaking. I know. He kissed her forehead. Hate me. But survive this. What happened next would haunt her. Junho was gentle, apologetic, treating her like glass. The act itself was mercifully brief, and he whispered apologies the entire time. But it wasn't Junwoo, and her body knew the difference, even if her eyes couldn't tell them apart. Junki was rougher, more possessive, less concerned with her comfort. When he finished, he looked at her with something like contempt. Welcome to the family. Then they left, and she was alone with Junwoo again, shaking and traumatized. He tried to hold her, but she shoved him away with strength born of rage. Don't touch me, Celine! You let them. You just... How could you? She was sobbing, grabbing her robe, desperate to cover herself. I had no choice. There's always a choice. You chose to lie to me, to trap me in this nightmare. She backed toward the bathroom. Stay away from me. She locked herself in the marble bathroom and collapsed on the floor, crying until she had nothing left. The shower ran for an hour, but she couldn't wash away what had happened. Couldn't scrub off the feeling of being used. When she finally emerged, the bedroom was empty. She found clothes, things Junwoo had bought her, and dressed mechanically. Her phone was on the nightstand. She grabbed it, tried to call her friends, but the line was dead. Tried the door, locked from the outside. She was a prisoner. Morning came with breakfast delivered by a woman who wouldn't meet her eyes. Celine ate mechanically, her mind working through options. Escape seemed impossible, but she had to try. Later that day, Junwoo entered with red-rimmed eyes. Can we talk? No. Please, I need you to understand. Understand what? That you manipulated me, married me under false pretenses, then let your brothers assault me. I understand perfectly. He flinched at the word assault. It's not like that in our culture. It's tradition, honor. It's rape. She said it flatly. Legal rape. Under the guise of tradition, but rape nonetheless. Celine, if I had told you before, I would have run, which is exactly what you feared, so you trapped me instead. She stood, facing him. Did you ever love me, or was I always just a prize to claim? I love you more than life itself. His voice cracked. Everything I feel for you is real. I couldn't lose you to tradition, so I made a terrible choice. We agree on one thing. It was terrible. The next week was torture. She was confined to the penthouse, her every move monitored. Junwoo tried constantly to talk to her, but she refused. Junho attempted gentleness, bringing her books, asking about her interests. She ignored him. Junki didn't bother trying at all. On day 8, she found an opportunity. A delivery created a brief distraction at the entrance. She slipped past, made it to the elevator, descended 20 floors before the alarm sounded. She ran through the lobby, onto Seoul's streets, desperate for help. But before she could flag down a taxi, hands grabbed her. Not Junwoo's, not his brother's. Strangers with hard eyes and cruel smiles. "The CO bride," one laughed, unguarded. "Kim will pay well for this." Terror consumed her as they dragged her toward a black van. She screamed, fought, but they were stronger. Then gunfire erupted. The men holding her dropped, blood blooming on their chests. She spun to see Junho lowering a weapon, his expression ice-cold fury. "Get in the car. Now." He grabbed her arm, pulling her toward his Mercedes. She was too shocked to resist. He drove like a demon, checking mirrors constantly. "You could have died," he said finally. "Those were Kim's men. Do you know what they do to women they capture?" "I don't care. Anything is better than—" "They would have passed you around to 50 men, recorded it, sent the videos to us as a message, then killed you." His voice was harsh. "Is that better than sleeping with 3 men who would die before letting real harm come to you?" Celine fell silent, the reality of her situation crystallizing. She truly was trapped between her captors and something infinitely worse. Back at the penthouse, Junwoo was pacing like a caged animal. When he saw her, relief and fury warred on his face. "What were you thinking?" "I was thinking I'd rather die free than live as your shared property." "You almost got your wish." He grabbed her shoulders. "Do you have any idea what it did to me, seeing you in danger? What it would do to me if you died?" "I don't care what it would do to you." His control snapped. He kissed her, desperate, hungry, terrified, and her traitorous body responded, softening against him, remembering the man she'd fallen for before the nightmare began. She shoved him away, breathing hard. "I hate you." "I know, but you're alive. And that's all that matters." Over the following days, she learned more about their world. The Seo family controlled half of Seoul's underworld. The brothers were feared, respected, untouchable, and she was now part of that empire, protected but imprisoned. Junho sought her out one afternoon while Junwoo was handling business. "I know you hate us. You have every right. Thank you for stating the obvious." He sat across from her in the library. "For what it's worth, I argued against this. I told Junwoo to tell you the truth before the wedding. Yet you still participated. Because tradition demanded it. Because refusing would have made you vulnerable." He leaned forward. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just asking you to see that we're trapped in this too. You're not the ones being shared like property. No. But we're the ones watching the woman our brother loves suffer, knowing we caused it." His voice was quiet. "Junwoo hasn't slept since the wedding night. He looks at you like you're the sun and he's dying in your shadow." "Good, but later, alone." His words haunted her. She'd seen Junwoo's deterioration, the dark circles, the weight loss, the misery he couldn't hide. Part of her wanted him to suffer. Another part, the part that had loved him completely, ached at his pain. 3 weeks after the wedding, she woke feeling nauseous. It persisted for days until dread settled in her stomach. The pregnancy test confirmed her worst fear, positive. She stared at the 2 pink lines, trying to calculate timing, but it was impossible to know. Could be Junwoo's, could be Junho's, could even be Junki's. The thought made her physically ill. Junwoo found her sitting on the bathroom floor. The test clutched in her hand. His face went pale, then blazed with emotion, joy, fear, hope, all warring for dominance. "You're pregnant." Observant, he knelt beside her. "This is... Celine, this is everything. This is a nightmare. I don't even know which one of you—" Her voice broke. His hand covered hers on the test. It doesn't matter. This baby is ours. It matters to me. Then we'll do a paternity test. But Celine, regardless of biology, this child will be loved by all of us, protected by all of us. She looked at him, this man who destroyed her world and still somehow held pieces of her heart. I can't do this. I can't raise a child in this madness. You can. We'll make it work. His thumb brushed her cheek. Please, give us a chance to prove we can be the family you deserve. Before she could respond, shouting erupted from the living room. They ran out to find Junki and Junho in a physical altercation, fists flying. She's pregnant, Junki snarled, and you're already acting like it's yours. I said it belongs to all of us. Junho blocked a punch. Liar! You want her for yourself. I see how you look at her. Junwoo separated them with brutal efficiency. Enough! Both of you! Stand down! But Junki's eyes blazed with something dark. This was a mistake. Bringing her into our family has destroyed everything. We're fighting over a woman like common fools. She's not just a woman. She's family, Junho argued. She's a weakness, Junki pointed at Celine. And weaknesses get people killed in our world. The words hung heavy. Then Junki stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to crack the frame. Celine felt sick. Your family is fracturing because of me. Our family is fracturing because of tradition, ego, and stubbornness, Junwoo corrected. Not because of you. But as days passed, the tension only grew. Junho became increasingly attentive to Celine, bringing her prenatal vitamins, asking about her health. She caught him watching her with an expression that went beyond duty. Something softer, more genuine. You're staring, she said one afternoon. He didn't look away. You're beautiful when you read. Peaceful. Don't. Don't what? Act like you care about me beyond obligation. What if it's not an act? His voice was quiet. What if I'm falling for you, Celine? Really falling, not because of tradition or duty, but because you're extraordinary. Her heart hammered. You can't. This is already complicated enough. I know, but feelings don't follow logic. He stood, moved to the window. I watched Junwoo suffer over you, and I understand now. You're not just beautiful or intelligent, you're addictive, and I'm in trouble. Before she could respond, an explosion rocked the building. Glass shattered. Inward, alarms screamed. Junho grabbed Celine, shielding her with his body as debris rained down. We're under attack! Junwoo's voice came through the chaos. Men in tactical gear stormed through the breach. Not their men, enemies. What followed was violence Celine had only seen in movies. The brothers moved like trained killers, dispatching attackers with brutal efficiency, but they were outnumbered. One man grabbed Celine. Junho put a bullet through his head without hesitation. Blood sprayed across her face, and she screamed, "Get her to the safe room!" Junwoo shouted, trading blows with two attackers. Junho pulled her through the chaos toward a hidden door, but before they reached it, more men flooded in, and standing among them was Park Tae-hyun, head of the Park crime family, wearing a smile that promised death. The Seo bride, he said, gun pointed directly at Celine's stomach, and carrying an heir. How fortunate. If you're loving this story so far, please take 2 seconds to like and share. It helps us reach more viewers and keeps this content coming. Thank you for being here and supporting the channel. Park Tae-hyun's gun was steady, aimed directly at Celine's abdomen. Drop your weapons or I paint these walls with your heir's blood. Junho's grip on his pistol tightened, but he didn't lower it. You pull that trigger, you start a war that ends your entire bloodline. Perhaps. Tae-hyun's smile widened. Or perhaps I take her, keep her comfortable until she delivers, then use the child as leverage for the next 18 years. Either way, the Seo empire crumbles. Selena's hands instinctively covered her stomach. The baby was barely a cluster of cells, but maternal instinct roared to life. Please, quiet! Taehyun's eyes never left Junho. I'm talking to the men who matter. Rage flashed across Junho's face, but before he could respond, gunfire erupted from behind Taehyun. His men dropped like puppets with cut strings. Through the smoke walked Junki, weapon raised, face splattered with blood, looking like death personified. "You made a mistake," Junki said coldly. "You threatened what's ours." Taehyun spun, fired, but Junki was faster. The shot went wide, and Junki's bullet found its mark. Shoulder, non-fatal, intentionally painful. Taehyun screamed, weapon clattering to the floor. Junwoo appeared behind him, kicking the gun away. "You come into my home, threaten my wife, my child." His voice was terrifyingly calm. "I'm going to enjoy making you suffer." What happened next was brutal. Selena turned away, unable to watch as the brothers extracted information from Taehyun using methods that made him beg for death. When they finally granted that mercy, silence fell heavy over the destroyed penthouse. Junwoo found Celine huddled in the corner, shaking. Blood, not hers, stained her clothes. He approached carefully, like she might bolt. "It's over. You're safe." She looked up at him, eyes hollow. "I'll never be safe. Not in this world." "You will. I swear it." He pulled her to her feet, into his arms. For once, she didn't resist, too traumatized to fight. The brothers moved her to a secure location that night, a compound outside Seoul, heavily guarded, impenetrable. 3 bedrooms, 1 for each brother, and a master suite they expected her to share with Junwoo. She stood in the master suite, staring at the massive bed, feeling bile rise in her throat. "I can't sleep here." Junwoo was behind her, his presence both comfort and torment. "Where do you want to sleep?" "Alone. I want my own room." Pain flickered across his face, but he nodded. "Done. I'll have one prepared immediately." Within hours, she had her own space, modest but private. She locked the door that night, finally alone for the first time since the wedding, and cried until exhaustion claimed her. Days blurred together. Morning sickness plagued her. The brothers handled business while she existed, in limbo, unable to leave, unable to fully engage. Junwoo tried constantly to talk to her, but she had nothing to say. Junho became her unexpected companion. He'd sit with her during meals, read beside her in the library, ask nothing, and offer quiet presence. She hated that she found comfort in him, hated how her traitorous heart sometimes confused him with Junwoo. One afternoon, she asked him directly, "Why are you being kind to me?" He looked up from his book, considered the question. "Because you deserve kindness. Because what we did to you was wrong, regardless of tradition, and because," he hesitated, "because I care about you, Celine, more than I should." "You can't." "I know, but here we are." His smile was sad. "I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to know you're not alone in this nightmare." That night, she dreamed of the wedding night, but in the dream, it was Junho making love to her, and she woke, gasping, confused, guilty. She loved Junwoo. Only Junwoo. These feelings for his brother were just trauma, Stockholm syndrome, something explainable, but they persisted. 2 weeks after the attack, Junki confronted her in the hallway. "We need to talk." "I don't want to." "I don't care what you want." He grabbed her arm, not painfully but firmly, and pulled her into his office. "Sit." She sat, more from shock than obedience. He paced, agitation rolling off him in waves. "You're destroying us. This family has stood united for 30 years, and in 6 weeks, you've created fractures that could kill us all. I didn't ask to be here. No, but you are here, and your presence is a weapon our enemies will use." Taehyun was just the first. He stopped pacing, faced her. "Junwoo is obsessed with you to the point of distraction. Junho is falling for you like a lovesick fool. And me, I resent every breath you take because you've made my brothers weak." His honesty was cutting. "Then let me go." "Can't. You're pregnant with a Seogo." "You leave, you die, the baby dies. Simple math." He leaned against his desk. So we're stuck with each other, and I need you to understand something. I will protect you because it's my duty, but I will never like you, never care for you beyond obligation. Don't expect warmth from me. Trust me, I don't. Good. He opened the door, dismissing her. Stay away from Junho. He's getting attached, and that's dangerous. But staying away from Junho proved impossible. He sought her out constantly, and she found herself looking forward to his visits, their conversations. He made her laugh, actually laugh, for the first time since the wedding. Tell me about your family, he asked one evening as they sat in the garden. Why? Because I want to know you, the real you, not just the woman my brother married. She shouldn't indulge this, but loneliness won. My parents are professors. My sister is a doctor. Normal, boring, academic family. Do they know about this? They think I married into wealth and moved to Seoul. They don't know about the mafia, the tradition, the nightmare. Tears pricked her eyes. I can't tell them. It would destroy them. I'm sorry. His hand covered hers, warm and solid. You deserved better than what we gave you. Yes, I did. They sat in silence, hands linked, and Celine felt something shift inside her chest, something dangerous, something that felt like the beginning of real feelings. That night, Junwoo found her in the library. You spend a lot of time with Junho. There was no accusation in his tone, just observation, but she bristled anyway. He's kind to me. I try to be kind to you. You're the reason I'm in this hell. There's a difference. He absorbed the blow, nodded slowly. Fair, but Celine, I need to know, are you developing feelings for him? What if I am? Would it matter? It would break me. His voice was raw. I love you. Only you. The thought of you loving my brother instead, I'm supposed to belong to all of you equally, remember. Your precious tradition. She stood, angry now. You don't get to be jealous when you're the one who created this situation. I know I did this, and I live with that guilt every second, he crossed to her, desperate. But I love you, Celine, not as property, not as obligation. I love you the way a man loves the woman who makes him want to be better. And if you tell me you love Junho, it will destroy me, but I'll survive it if it means you're happy. His words cracked something inside her. I don't know what I feel anymore. I loved you once, completely, but you broke that when you lied to me, when you let them. She couldn't finish. I know, and I'll spend my life trying to earn back what I destroyed. Before she could respond, Junki burst in. We have a problem. Kim's family knows about the pregnancy. They're planning a move. Everything happened fast. The compound went into lockdown. Guards tripled. The brothers became shadows, disappearing for hours to handle threats, returning with blood on their hands and exhaustion in their eyes. Celine felt like a prisoner again, trapped in her room while war raged outside her door. The stress affected the pregnancy, spotting, cramping. The doctor they brought in ordered bed rest. Junwoo barely left her side. He worked from her room, slept in a chair beside her bed, monitored her every breath. His devotion should have annoyed her, but instead it reminded her why she'd fallen for him in the first place. You don't have to stay, she said one night. Yes, I do. You and this baby are everything to me. Even if the baby isn't yours. Even then, biology doesn't determine family, love does. She studied his face, the dark circles, the worry lines, the absolute sincerity in his eyes. I want it to be yours. Hope blazed across his features. Yeah. I want to remember the wedding night as it was supposed to be, just us, before everything went wrong. He took her hand, pressed it to his lips. We can have that again. If you give me a chance, I'll prove I can be the husband you deserve. I'm scared, she admitted. Scared of loving you again just to have you hurt me worse. I won't. I swear on my life, I won't. The moment was interrupted by shouting. They both tensed, and then gunfire erupted. Close, too close. Junwoo was on his feet instantly, weapon drawn. Stay here. Lock the door behind me. Junwoo, trust me. He kissed her hard, fast. I'll come back to you. He disappeared into chaos, and Celine locked the door with shaking hands, pressing herself against the wall, hand on her stomach protectively. The attack was coordinated, brutal. She heard explosions, screaming, the sound of men dying. It felt like hours, but was probably minutes before silence fell. Then someone tried her door handle. She bit back a scream. "Celine, it's me," Junho's voice. "Let me in." She opened the door to find him bloody but alive. "Are you hurt?" "Not my blood." He scanned the room, then her. "You okay? The baby?" "We're fine. Where's Junwoo?" His expression darkened. Captured. Kim's men got him. The world tilted. "What?" "They breached the south entrance, used Junwoo's concern for you as a distraction. He fought his way to your hallway, and they ambushed him." Junho's jaw clenched. "Junki is tracking them now. We'll get him back. They'll kill him. No. They'll use him as leverage. For you, for the territory, for everything." He gripped her shoulders. "Celine, I need you to be strong. Can you do that?" She wanted to fall apart, but she nodded. "What do we do?" "We negotiate, we plan, and then we burn Kim's empire to the ground." The next 12 hours were agony. Junki coordinated with their contacts, gathering intel. Junho stayed with Selena, preventing her from doing anything rash. She paced, cried, felt the baby flutter for the first time, and broke down completely because Junwoo should be here for this. "He's alive," Junho kept saying. "They won't kill him. He's too valuable." Finally, the call came. Kim himself, voice oily with satisfaction. "We have your brother. You want him back. Here are our terms." The terms were impossible. Half their territory, $20 million, and Celine delivered to them as insurance. "Absolutely not," Junki snarled. "Then Junwoo dies. Slowly. We'll send you pieces." Celine grabbed the phone. "I'll do it. I'll come." "No!" both brothers shouted, but she was already talking. "I'll come willingly in exchange for Junwoo's immediate release, unharmed." Kim laughed. "The pregnant bride offers herself. How noble. Fine. Tomorrow, noon, the old warehouse district. You come alone, we release him." The line went dead. Junki rounded on her. "You're not going." "Yes, I am. They'll kill you both." "Maybe, but I can't sit here while Junwoo suffers because of me." She stood, surprisingly calm. "I'm going, and you can either help me or get out of my way." Junho studied her with new respect. "You love him." "Of course I love him. I never stopped, even when I hated him." The brothers exchanged looks, and some silent communication passed between them. Finally, Junki nodded. "Fine, but we do this smart. You'll wear a tracker, a vest, and you won't actually be alone. We'll have snipers positioned, extraction teams ready." They planned through the night. Celine was fitted with equipment, briefed on protocols. As dawn broke, Junho pulled her aside. "If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, I need you to know something." He cupped her face gently. "I love you, Celine. Really love you. And in another life, where tradition didn't exist and you weren't my brother's wife, I would have fought for you." Tears spilled over. "Junho, I know you love him. I see it, and that's okay. Just be happy. That's all I want." He kissed her forehead, brotherly and final, then stepped back. The warehouse was abandoned, rotting, perfect for an ambush. Celine walked in alone, hands raised, heart hammering. Kim's men searched her, found the tracker, destroyed it with smug efficiency. "Nice try," Kim said, appearing from the shadows, "but we're not stupid. Where's Junwoo?" He snapped his fingers, and they dragged Junwoo out. He'd been beaten badly, face swollen, blood crusting his split lip, moving with obvious pain. But his eyes blazed when he saw her. "Celine, no, run!" "Touching!" Kim grabbed her arm, pressed a gun to her temple. "Now we kill you both and send a message to the Seo family." Everything happened at once. Gunfire erupted from above. Junki's snipers. Kim's men scattered. Junwoo broke free from his captors with a roar of fury, charging toward her, but Kim still had her, gun pressed hard against her head. One more step and she dies! Junwoo froze, hands raised. Let her go! Your fight is with me. My fight is destroying everything you love. Kim's finger tightened on the trigger. A shot rang out. Kim jerked, his grip loosening as he fell. Celine spun to see Junho lowering a rifle from the rafters, expression grim. Then chaos erupted. More of Kim's men flooded in. The brothers fought like demons, protecting Celine between them. She grabbed a fallen weapon, fired at a man charging Junwoo's blind side, and watched him drop. Junwoo stared at her, stunned. Did you just save your life? Yes, we're even now. Despite everything, he grinned, then pulled her into a brutal kiss, right there in the middle of the firefight. I love you so damn much. I love you too, you idiot. They fought their way out together, the three brothers and Celine moving as a unit. By the time they reached the extraction vehicles, Kim's entire operation was in flames. Back at the compound, doctors checked Celine and the baby. Both fine miraculously. Junwoo refused treatment until he knew she was okay, and when the doctor confirmed healthy heartbeats, he actually cried. We're okay, she whispered, holding him, all of us. That night, alone in her room, she made a decision. She found Junwoo in his office, looking over damage reports. I want to try again, she said from the doorway. He looked up, hope and fear warring in his expression. Try what? Us, our marriage. Really try, not just survive. She stepped inside, closed the door. I love you. I'm angry, hurt, traumatized by what happened, but I love you. And life's too short to waste time hating the man who makes me feel alive. He was across the room in seconds, pulling her into his arms. I'll make this right. I swear I'll make this right. I know, but Junwoo, I need you to understand something. What happened on our wedding night can never happen again. I'm yours, only yours, not your brother's. I don't care about tradition. I won't share you and you don't share me. Done. Absolutely done. He kissed her desperately. I'll handle my brothers, handle the family council. You're mine alone from now on. And the baby, when it's born, we do a paternity test. I need to know. Whatever you need. They held each other, and Selena felt pieces of herself starting to heal. It wouldn't be easy. Trust had to be rebuilt, brick by brick. But love was worth fighting for. The next day, Junwoo called a family meeting. His brothers sat across from him in the conference room. Tension thick. I'm changing our tradition, he announced. Effective immediately. Celine is my wife alone. The sharing ends. Junki's expression was unreadable. The council won't approve. I don't care. I'll dissolve the council if necessary. She's mine, and I'm done compromising on that. Junho's face showed relief. I support this. What happened was wrong. She deserves better. You're both weak, Junki spat. She's made you soft, made you willing to destroy everything our family built. No, Junwoo countered. She's made me realize what actually matters. Power means nothing if I lose her, so I choose her, always. Junki stood, furious. Then you're a fool, and I'm done protecting your stupidity. He stormed out, and for a moment, Celine feared they'd lost him. But Junho shook his head. He'll come around. He's angry, but he's still family. Over the following weeks, life found a new rhythm. Junwoo courted Celine properly. Dates, flowers, long conversations about everything and nothing. She let herself fall for him again, this time with open eyes, knowing his darkness and choosing him anyway. Junho maintained respectful distance, but remained kind. She saw him watching sometimes with longing, but he never crossed lines, never pushed. She appreciated his restraint, his silent sacrifice. Junki remained cold, but he didn't actively sabotage their happiness. It was the best they could hope for. At 20 weeks, they did the paternity test. The results came back on a Tuesday afternoon. Celine opened the envelope with shaking hands, Junwoo beside her, gripping her other hand tight. She read the results once, twice, then looked up at him with tears streaming down her face. "It's yours. The baby is yours." His face crumpled with emotion. He pulled her into his arms, kissing her hair, her face, her lips. "Thank you. Thank God. Thank you. We're really doing this," she whispered, "having a baby together. A family. A real family." He placed his hand on her swollen belly. "I love you both so much." That evening they made love for the first time since the wedding night. Slowly, tenderly, without trauma or force. It was healing, beautiful, everything their first time should have been. Afterwards, wrapped in his arms, Celine felt peace for the first time in months. "I forgive you," she said quietly. He stiffened. "What?" "I forgive you for lying, for the wedding night, all of it. I forgive you because I love you and I want to move forward, not stay trapped in the past." He buried his face in her neck, and she felt wetness against her skin. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway." The pregnancy progressed smoothly. Junwoo was obsessively attentive, attending every appointment, reading every book, preparing the nursery with almost manic attention to detail. Celine found his enthusiasm endearing, healing. At 30 weeks, Junki finally sought her out. They hadn't spoken in months beyond necessary pleasantries. "I owe you an apology," he said stiffly. She set down her book. "I'm listening. I blamed you for changes in our family, but you didn't ask for this, didn't deserve how we treated you, and watching Junwoo with you now, actually happy, I realize I was wrong. You didn't weaken him. You gave him something worth protecting beyond power." It was the closest to emotional he'd ever been. "Thank you for saying that. I still think love is a liability in our world, but I'm learning to accept that my brothers disagree." He stood to leave, then paused. "For what it's worth, you're stronger than I gave you credit for. You survived us. That's no small feat." It wasn't friendship, but it was progress. Celine went into labor 3 weeks early, sudden and intense. Junwoo drove like a madman to the private hospital they'd arranged, holding her hand, trying to hide his terror. "You're going to be fine," he kept saying. "Both of you." "I know," she squeezed through a contraction, "because you won't allow any other outcome." Labor was long, exhausting, painful. Junwoo stayed beside her the entire time, letting her crush his hand, wiping her face, murmuring encouragement. When she screamed that she couldn't do this, he looked her in the eyes and said, "You're the strongest person I know. You can do anything." 20 hours after labor began, their daughter entered the world, tiny, perfect, screaming with indignation. "She's beautiful," Junwoo breathed, tears streaming down his face as he held her. "She's perfect." They named her Amara, meaning eternal, Amara Seo, heir to an empire built on blood but born from love. His brothers visited the next day. Junho brought flowers, holding Amara with surprising gentleness. "She's incredible, Celine. Congratulations." Even Junki softened slightly, studying the baby with something almost like warmth. "She has your eyes. And Junwoo's stubborn chin," Celine added with a smile. As they sat together, strange, fractured family that they were, Celine realized how far they'd come, from that nightmarish wedding night to this moment of genuine peace. That evening, alone with Junwoo and Amara, Celine felt complete. Her husband held their daughter, looking at both of them like they'd hung the stars. "Marry me again," he said suddenly. She laughed. "We're already married." "I know, but I want to do it right this time. A real ceremony, with you knowing everything, choosing me freely. Will you?" "Yes," she answered without hesitation, 1,000 times yes. 3 months later, They stood in a garden, overlooking Seoul, renewing vows that meant everything now. Celine wore white. Amara slept in her grandmother's arms, and when Junwoo promised to love, honor, and cherish her, she knew he meant every word. "I vow to spend my life worthy of you," he said, voice thick with emotion. "To be the husband you deserve, the father Amara needs, and the man who loves you more than life itself." "I vow to choose you," Celine responded. "Every day, through every storm, I choose you. I choose us. I choose this beautiful, complicated, impossible love." When they kissed, it felt like beginning and ending, like coming home after a brutal journey. The reception was family only, small, intimate, real. Junho gave a toast that made everyone cry. Even Junki raised his glass with genuine warmth. That night, back in their bedroom with Amara sleeping peacefully in the nursery, Junwoo made love to his wife with reverence and passion, showing her without words how completely she owned him. "I love you," he whispered against her skin. "I love you too." She pulled him closer. "Always." 2 years later, they had a son, Kai, fierce and beautiful. Their family grew, their love deepened, and slowly, the trauma of those early days faded into distant memory. Celine never forgot what happened, but she'd learned that love could heal even the deepest wounds, that choosing someone despite their mistakes was the most powerful form of devotion. On their 5th anniversary, Junwoo surprised her with a trip to Ghana, her homeland, which she hadn't seen since the wedding. They walked beaches she'd played on as a child, introduced their children to their heritage, and stood under stars that witnessed their impossible journey. "Do you regret it?" he asked one night. "Any of it?" She considered the question honestly. "I regret the pain, the trauma, the lies, but I don't regret where we ended up. I don't regret choosing you, even knowing what you know about me, about this life. Even then, because you're mine, Junwoo, and I'm yours, and that's worth everything." He kissed her under those ancient stars, and Celine felt the last pieces of her heart fully heal. They'd survived the impossible. They'd built love from ashes. They'd chosen each other when they had every reason not to. And in the end, that was the greatest victory of all. The end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more dark romance content. Drop a comment telling me what you thought about Celine and Junwoo's journey.